Hi, my name is Annie, and welcome to the Walking Word, where we go through the Holy Scriptures in a year in order to finish the Holy Bible. We are currently in the book of Leviticus, and we have been looking at the instructions for God for sacrifices offered to Him, and it continues. More instructions. We're now in chapter 11, and this is more about the laws regarding legal purity and things like that. So, chapter 11. Clean and unclean foods. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, speak to the Israelites to tell them, of all the land animals, these are the ones you may eat. Any animal that has hoofs, you may eat, provided it is cloven footed and choose card. Yeah? Cloved foot and choose card. But you shall not eat any of the following that only chew the card, or only have hoofs. Don't eat the camel, which indeed chews the card but does not have hoofs, and is therefore unclean for you. The rock badger, which did choose the card but does not have hoofs, and is therefore unclean for you. The hare, which indeed chews the card but does not have hoofs, and is therefore unclean for you. And the pig, which doesn't indeed which indeed has hoofs and is cloven footed, but does not chew the card, and is not and therefore unclean for you. Their flesh you shall not eat, and their dead bodies you shall not even touch. They are unclean for you. Of the various creatures that live in the water, you may eat the following: whatever in the seas or in the river waters has both fins. It has to have both fins and scales you may eat. But of the various creatures that crawl or swim in the water, whether in the sea or in the rivers, all those that lack either fins or scale are loathsome for you, and you shall treat them as loathsome. Their flesh you shall not eat, and their dead bodies you shall loathe. Every water creature that lacks fins or scales is loathsome for you. So it either has to have, it has to have two fins, and it has to either have scales or it has to have fins. Otherwise, please don't touch it. Of the birds, these you shall loathe, and as loathsome they shall not be eaten: the eagle, the vulture, the osprey, the kite, the various species of falcons, the various species of crows, the ostrich, the nightjar. Oh my goodness. The gull, the various species of hawks, the owl, the cormorant, the screech owl, the barn owl, the desert owl, the buzzard, the stork, and the various species of herons, the hoopie, and the bat. Who's eating bats? Okay. The various winged insects that walk on all fours are loathsome for you. But of the various winged insects that walk on the fours that you may eat, those have joint legs for leaping on the ground. The grasshoppers and things like that. Okay. Hence, of these you may eat the following: the various kinds of locusts, the various kinds of grasshoppers, the various kinds of katydids, and the various kinds of crickets. All other winged insects have four legs, are loathsome to you. Okay, at least I think I am in good books when it comes to insects. Such is the uncleanness that you contract, that everyone who touches their dead bodies shall be unclean until evening, and everyone who picks up any part of their dead bodies shall wash their garments and be unclean until evening. All hoofed animals that are not cloven footed or do not chew the card are unclean for you. Everyone who touches them becomes unclean. Of the various uh, quadrupeds, all those that walk on paws, okay, are unclean for you. So cats, dogs are unclean for you. Everyone who touches their dead bodies shall be unclean until evening, and everyone who picks up their dead bodies shall wash their garments and be unclean until evening. Such is their uncleanness for you. Of the creatures that swarm on the ground, the following are the unclean for you: the rat, the mouse, the various kinds of lizards, the gecko, the chameleon, the agama, the skink, and the mole. Among the various swarming creatures, These are unclean for you. Everyone who touches them, they when they are dead shall be unclean until evening. Everything on which one of them falls when dead becomes unclean. So even when a rat falls on your clothes, that outfit is already unclean. Any such article that men use, whether it be an article of wood, cloth, leather, or goat hair, must be put in water and remain unclean until evening, when it will again become clean. Should any of these creatures fall into a clay vessel, everything in it becomes unclean, and the vessel itself you must break. So, wow, if a gecko falls into your pot of rice, like break the pot, and that rice is all unclean, even if you think cooking for 500 guests. Done. Yeah, so should any of these creatures fall into a clay vessel, everything in it becomes unclean, and the vessel itself you must break. Any solid food that was in contact with water, any liquid that men drink in any such vessel becomes unclean. Any object on which any of these dead bodies falls becomes unclean. For it is, if it is an oven or a just stand, it must be broken to pieces. Wow. They are unclean and shall be treated as unclean by you. However, a spring or a cistern for collecting water remains clean, but whoever touches the dead body becomes unclean. Any sort of cultivated grain remains clean, even though one of the dead bodies falls on it. So the exceptions. So if it falls on grain, like if it falls on your pile of wheat, it remains clean, but the dead body is unclean, and therefore you must be cleansed. Okay, when one of the animals that you could otherwise eat dies of itself, anyone who touches its body shall be unclean until evening. So if your goat dies by natural, you just came and found it dead in the field or whatever, it's unclean, and it will be, don't touch, and if you touch it, you will be unclean until evening. And anyone who eats of its dead body shall wash his garments, and they're unclean until evening. So also anyone who removes its dead body, shall wash his garments and be unclean until evening. All the creatures that swam on the ground are loathsome and shall not be eaten, whether it crawls on its belly, goes on all fours, or has any leg. You shall not eat no swarming creature. They are loathsome. Do not make yourselves loathsome or unclean with any swarming creature, through their being contaminated by them. For I, the Lord, am your God. For I, your master, am your creator. And you shall make and keep yourselves holy, because I am holy. You shall not make yourselves unclean, then by swarming creatures or by the crawls on the that crawls on the ground. Since I, the Lord, brought you up out of the land of Egypt, that I may be your God, you shall be holy, because I am holy. This is the law for animals and the birds, for all the creatures that move about in the water or swam on the ground, that you may distinguish between the clean and the unclean, between creatures that may be beaten and those that may not be eaten. I just want to make a quick mention about Leviticus 11, and this is why you should take any pests in your home seriously, because not all of it all sometimes is just an infestation. Some of them actually have spiritual underlinings and underpinnings upon them. That if all of a sudden your house has a cockroach attack, and you're just wondering, why do I have so many cockroaches? Why do I have so many ants? Why do I have so many snails all of a sudden? Why? Certain pests, please take it seriously. Do pray over your house. Do the Psalms 91 prayer, where the fumigation stuff you'll be using, the medicine for fumigating you'll be using, make sure you pray Psalms 91 over it, and just sanctify your house with the Lord's Prayer as well. as many times as you need be, but do it in faith and do it angrily, because that's a pest infestation, and that sometimes is the enemy's way of bringing accursed items around you. We continue in Leviticus chapter 12 in the next one.